300 movie not directed by Zack Snyder. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous. 300 Rise of an Empire. With an awesome thrift store Hawaiian shirt because it just feels like summer. So 300 Rise of an Empire is part sequel, part prequel, part middle, parallel quill thing to the original 300 movie, which I found a lot of enjoyment in. And like I said, this movie is not directed by Zack Snyder, and you can't really tell actually. I mean, this movie's no 300 by any means, but I mean, visually speaking, the directing for this movie was really good. Of course, you know, there's a lot of blood, there's a lot of slow-mo action shots. A lot of movies since 300 have tried to do that. Most of them have failed miserably, but with this movie, I'm okay with it because it's 300. It's the pioneer for this type of action. And I miss Gerard Butler in this movie, but this new guy named Themistocles, he did a pretty good job in this movie. I don't know about you guys, but when I was in school learning about Greek mythology and all of that, I thought that the Spartans were just the awesome dudes who were just like made for war. They're all just like ripped and buff, and then the Athenians were just not. And yeah, the Athenians aren't exactly the Spartans by any measure, but Themistocles is a stud. This guy is a warrior, and when he's throwing down, it's really cool to watch. You also have Eva Green as the main antagonist of this movie, and she does a really good job. She's really vicious. And also Xerxes is in this movie, who some would call the main antagonist, but that's where my problem lies with this movie. This movie is actually based off some stuff that Frank Miller wrote for 300 where it was like a prequel featuring Xerxes. It was something like that. I don't know all the details. But you know, in 300 you have Xerxes and he's a really awesome villain. You don't know that much about him, but you know he's really intimidating. So then when Leonidas is standing up to him, you're like, yeah, this is awesome, this is great, this is Sparta. Other than this movie, you find out his backstory, and for anyone who was disappointed with the Star Wars prequels, yeah, I feel like you guys know where I'm going with that. I don't need to say anymore. Which is why I would call Eva Green the main antagonist of this movie. Now, my other big problem with this movie is that with the original 300, it knew exactly what it was supposed to be. It was an adaptation of a graphic novel that featured really bloody and gratuitous action scenes. Nothing more, nothing less, just a fun time at the movies. This movie, on the other hand, doesn't really know what it wants to be. Like in the original 300 movie, someone dies and they're all death and glory. Someone dies in this movie, they're like, oh no, my friend is dead, what's just happened? Which is more realistic, I guess, but really when you have that and then you also have a movie with a bunch of awesome CGI blood, which isn't realistic at all, then where is this movie's place exactly? With sequels, I really like to think of it like this. Did they really add anything new to this franchise? And with 300 Rise of an Empire, kind of, sort of, it's really up to interpretation. But at no point did I walk out of this movie going, oh yeah, when this movie hits Blu-ray, I'm totally marathoning 300 or Rise of an Empire. Or watch part of Rise of an Empire and then watch 300 and then watch the ending of Rise of an Empire. Because that's what the chronological timeline is actually like. So I saw 300 Rise of an Empire once in theaters and it was fun. But do I feel like I need to see it again? No. It had a cool main character, but at the same time it really butchered the villain of the last movie. With a lot of the same action that we've seen before, and we already have that action in the other movie, so if you're going to see it again just for this action, there's no real point because you already have a movie on your Blu-ray shelf at home with that same type of action. So I'm going to give 300 Rise of an Empire a C. It is a fun movie at times, but I just walked out of it for the most part and just going, well, I could have just watched 300 again, saved $8, and maybe had just as much fun. I don't know, I just had such a bland feeling for this movie. So what's your favorite movie, book, video game thing that has to deal with Greek mythology? Actually, I'm pretty sure I asked that in the Percy Jackson review, but I want to know again. Whatever that may be, comment down below, let me know what that is. And thanks for watching this video. If you guys like it, then you can click here to see more.